Hey everyone, what's going? Kevin just jumped. What's going on? Welcome to Death by Podcast, the world's greatest horror podcast and other stuff. I'm your host, Adam. That's your other host,
Kevin.
Kevin Cabbage. Episode 76, Kevin. Last week was our big 75. That was a big episode, man. I think people really dug it. I was looking at the numbers. It was like, yeah. We should do Gremlins 2 more often.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Absolutely.
Main show tonight, Leprechaun, 1993 for the letter L. I've got some stats on that movie. But before we get to that, let's cover some stuff.
Okay.
This episode, by the time you listen to this episode, we will have gone to Killer Clowns from Outer Space at the music box. Yeah. So if you were there and you showed up and you said hi, thank you. Chances are absolutely no one that we know will be there to say hi. So screw all of you. But I'm sure it'll be a good time. I'm sure it was a good time. This episode will be on Saturday, the day after. So we'll definitely talk about our experience with that. So look forward to it. What else? We just recorded Patreon. We talked about Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, season 19, episode 18, which contained the E.T. Go Home, Mr. and Mrs. Simpson in a heck house. So if you're interested in that, patreon.com/deathbypodcast, best way to support the show. Kevin, you said you had some news to share with everyone. Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
Total Recall. There's been a lot of Schwarzenegger stuff going around. Have you like just news stuff? He's got two shows. He's got
his new show,
Netflix show, and there's a new documentary about him.
Yeah, there's a new Expendables that he's not in.
Oh, really? He's not in it?
If he is, it's a big surprise.
Wow.
It's called Expend for
Bulls. Are you kidding me? Expend for Bulls?
Yeah.
Why do they keep doing this? Why, Kevin?
I don't know, man.
I don't get it. What is it again? Expend for Bulls?
Well, yeah, the A is 4, so it would be.
It's like, was Fantastic Four Sticks? Was that the first one to do that?
No, I think they'd done it before. It was just like, I don't know. It's a little silly.
6 cream, 5 cream, 6 cream.
But yeah,
Forbles. All right. Anyway,
they released a trailer. Nobody even knew they were making this fucking movie.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it was like,
Stallone's got to be like nearly crippled, right?
Yeah.
He's doing Cliffhanger again, right?
Yeah, they're doing another Cliffhanger. The other thing is like the whole premise of this one is that there's like new blood, like they're bringing in new people. But that was the premise of the third one.
That's kind of what they do in everyone. But the premise of the first movie was these like 80s action stars, and I wish they had just kept that. And
the second one is like the second one's good too.
Like pull out Michael Dudikoff and people like that. Don't bring Chris Hemsworth in or whoever you're bringing in. Like, I don't want to see those people.
I did like they bring like Tony Jaa's in this one, you know, like
who's he? Tony Jaa?
Tony Jaa, he's like a martial arts guy.
Oh yeah.
He's in you ever see The Protector?
Right. Well, he's got a different one that's like really popular. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, he's got some
Ong Bak.
Yeah, he is in Ong Bak. Yeah.
That's him. Right?
Yeah. The Protector's awesome. Protector is like he's like someone steals his elephants.
Oh shit!
And he goes and kicks everybody's ass. It's
awesome. Isn't he in Force Awakens or the Raid?
No.
He's not a Raid guy, is he?
No, you're thinking of what the hell's that guy's name?
Jet Li.
No, it's not Jet Li. It's
he's retired. Rest in peace.
No, the guy that is in it's not Force Awakens. It's in Rogue One.
Oh really?
Yeah, the guy that's in Rogue One is also it's on top. It's at my tag. He's also in.
It'll probably don't force it. You'll get constipated.
He's in the new John Wick 2. What the hell is his name?
I haven't seen John Wick 4.
Yeah, what the hell is his name? It's right there. The guy's really really good. Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen
is IP man. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I was fixing my chair.
Oh, okay.
So maybe Tony Jaa's not in. Oh yeah. No. We're okay. We're on the same page. Anyway,
you got news. What do you got?
Two
Expendables. Yeah, those guys should
Yeah,
just. I
that
don't
wasn't
know.
even in the news. That was just like
Oh,
open
really?
over the
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, the little bit of news. So it's funny. They Marvel and Disney like moved around a ton of their shit. Like stuff,
Really? MCU
Yeah,
stuff? MCU?
a lot of MCU stuff got moved around. Deadpool 3 is coming out a little earlier. Everything else is getting pushed back a year, at least.
Really? I wonder if that's because of the
Go ahead.
because of the Kang thing. The what's his name?
Oh, Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
Maybe, but I mean, a lot of the Marvel stuff's getting moved around. Like basically all the Marvel movies are getting pushed back at least a year. Avatar 3 is getting pushed back like to 2025.
Just cancel that thing already.
Dude, yeah, they the whole Avatar, like they said, so they have release dates for all the Avatar movies still, and they said the fifth one is coming out in 2031.
Get the fuck out of here. God, why, man?
It's
that is
wild.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It
Yeah.
is the dumbest thing I have ever heard.
But Deadpool did get moved. Deadpool got moved up from next November to May.
Okay. So it's still a year out. Jeez.
It's a year out from but like literally everything else got pushed back a year.
All right. Well,
Which is probably good.
yeah.
But they also announced they're gonna do Alien. They're gonna do an Alien movie.
Really?
Now that Disney owns Fox.
Oh, what is that gonna look like?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Disney's in a weird spot, man. And then I don't know. Do you know about this thing going on with the French Connection?
No.
This has been really
phenomenal movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But there's been a thing going on with the French Connection.
Tell me Gene Hackman's coming out of retirement.
No. Oh, yeah, for French Connection too.
Yeah. 3. It would be 3, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
But no, so there's a thing going on with the French Connection that's really bugging me, and I keep bringing it up to people, and no one cares. It's really annoying me.
Probably because no one alive anymore knows what the French Connection is. That's
well, it's not just with the French Connection. It's a matter of principle.
Okay. All right.
So, okay, there's a scene in the French Connection that has 2 racial slurs in the scene.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, you know the scene.
Yeah,
it's got the guy says an Italian slur and then an African American slur.
Sure. Okay.
Immediately after, it's Gene Hackman says both of them.
Right.
Okay. And then they just go on with the rest of the movie.
Right.
That scene. So what's going on right now is the Criterion channel, which is awesome, has the French Connection up.
Okay.
And that scene is like missing.
Okay.
And not just missing, but like chopped out of the movie, like very jarringly. And when it got brought up, like someone like asked Criterion, like, "Hey, what the hell is this?"
Yeah.
Because Criterion, that's their entire deal, is like preserving film and
like the integrity of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And they said, "We don't own the movie. This is the only version of the movie that exists from the distributor, like from who we're renting it from, essentially, which is Disney."
Okay. Oh, really? Disney owns that?
Disney owns it now, yeah. Because I think it used to be Fox.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm sure Disney didn't own it the entire time. Anyway, either way.
Yeah, so, it wasn't a Disney movie.
So they went to Disney, but like Disney used to be like they had like Touchstone and they had
I know, but
anyway,
still, they bought it, whatever.
Right. But so somebody asked Disney, or I'm sorry. Oh yeah. So then like Disney didn't comment.
Yeah.
And when Criterion got pushed, they said, we had the same problem with it. We were like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
And we were told that it's a director's edit.
Baloney.
Which, yeah, William Friedkin, I don't see it, man.
No,
I don't see him.
It's The Exorcist. What?
I don't see him being 85 years old and being like, you know what? I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna like, how would that even work? And that's the last. Nobody's asked him about it. Nobody. You know, he hasn't commented on it. Disney hasn't commented on it. But it looks like Disney went in, chopped out those 2 racial slurs out of the movie, and not just like censored, not even like put like a bleep, which would be insane. Like cut the scene out of the movie. Like that's insane.
It is insane.
It won Best Picture.
Right.
Like it's nuts.
And he was at least nominated, if not won, for Popeye Doyle.
But like, what are you doing? Like that's and nobody's answering for it.
Well, nobody that's the it doesn't surprise me, number one, if Disney owns it, that happened. Number two, it doesn't surprise me that people don't give a shit because no one cares about, like, you have to understand that that's the character of Popeye Doyle. If you take that and it shows that he's not a good person, but he is maybe a good cop, whatever.
I mean, he's a guy that exists in the early 70s.
Exactly.
It's not that crazy.
Exactly. So
that he would say that.
So like, but the times that we live in is people they can't separate that. They're not able to do that. They're not educated enough. They're too wrapped up in their own bullshit. So I get it. It's not, the argument isn't that we want to hear racial slurs. The argument is that we want to see the character presented as he was written. And I mean, that's not a thing that people understand. Yeah.
I mean, how is this even, I mean, yeah. And that's the thing, like, yeah, my argument. Yeah.
The weird part of it is, like, why would Disney want to own a movie like that?
Because they want to own everything.
Especially if you can't present it in the way that it was initially supposed to be presented.
I wonder what's really going on. I wonder if, like, some intern or some guy, whoever it is, did that, didn't tell anybody.
No.
And then when somebody brought it up, they were like, because now what are they going to do? Like, they're Disney. They can't be like.
No, that's a Disney high up decision, because I was watching something else, and before it, I'm pretty sure it had to do with, like, some kind of mental disability or something like that. And before it, they showed, like, it was an 80s movie, whatever it was that I was watching, and it was on Disney Plus. And before it, they said there was, like, a warning.
Yeah, there's a disclaimer.
Disclaimer. And I was just like, I don't know, like, why do you need to be warned about that? Like,
they have that in front of Aladdin. I mean, they have
Really?
that in front of everything. Yeah,
Really?
It's in front of everything, which is like, fine. You know what? Hey, put that in front of French Connection, man. Like, if you're really that concerned about, say, hey, there's some racist stuff in here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm an adult.
Sure.
I understand that, like, hey, times are different. Like, relax. Like, but it's unreal that they would do that. But now
it makes
they
perfect
can't.
sense.
What are they going to do? They can't say we're going to put it back in. Like, we want
the thing.
We want give me the N-word cut of the French Connection. Like, but, like, how do you do that? Like, how do you?
But that's where we are, man. Like, you got to just go buy the DVD, or whatever. Like,
I think I have it downstairs, but, like,
it's a great movie. Go watch it, folks.
What's wild is this made me want to watch the movie.
Yeah, it's great. I watched it
I haven't seen it in years, but it's a very good movie.
Yeah, it is. All right, what else you got? Any other news?
Just, it's not even news. It was. It wasn't that they're gonna remake Leprechaun again.
Oh,
they're not even gonna do it. Like, well, it's not that they're not gonna do it. The article says that they want to not even do another reboot, so they did this movie 4 or 5 years ago called Leprechaun Origins, which was like a reboot, like it's a restart. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with this.
That the one that was without Warwick Davis?
Yeah,
right.
So then they want to do a new one that is tied to this, but is also they want to do a soft reboot, but it's not even. It's a non-story. They're calling for pitches. Like,
really?
That's what qualifies as news these days.
Yeah.
Like, it says, hey, new Leprechaun movie, and then you click on it, it's like, oh no, the studio's calling for pitches. Like,
yeah,
the fuck is that?
I read this thing today, doing research for the movie, where it was like, Warwick Davis. It was an article from 2018, so it was when it was right after or when that Leprechaun, the newest Leprechaun you're talking about, came out, and they were asking Warwick Davis, like, why weren't you in it? And he was like, that it was actually his decision, and that he's been in the franchise, and he's been in the horror world for a certain amount of time, and now that he has kids, he doesn't want to do that kind of stuff until they're of a certain age. And he did say, like, he said, when they turn 18, then I'll go back to doing horror stuff. And I was like, all right, that's a long time to wait, but
Yeah, that's
okay.
weird.
It was weird, but he said that it was his decision. So I don't know if you're going to say that
Mm,
publicly, then maybe it was, but
maybe.
I get it. Whatever. That's fine. All right. Should we do this Leprechaun 93?
Yeah, we can jump right into Leprechaun. Let's do it.
Oh, did we wait? No. What'd you watch? What'd you have?
I didn't watch much this. Wait, did I?
Anything?
Yeah, nothing that.
Nothing.
I watched Blackberry. I think I talked about last week.
Blackberry?
Yeah, did you see Blackberry?
No. Is that about like some
It's for the phone.
Oh, it's about the phone? That was my first
Yeah,
phone, Blackberry.
it's about the guys that created the Blackberry.
Oh, it's a documentary.
No, it's like a, it's like
Like a movie documentary thing. Like,
yeah, like it's got Jay Baruchel.
who's he?
He's the skinny guy from like there. She's out of my league and
What's that?
like all the knocked up movies. I'm trying to think of what he would have been that you would have seen. You might know him to see him. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
And then Dennis from Always Sunny,
Oh, I hate that
Glenn
show.
Howerton. Well, this guy is really good in this movie. This guy. I think this is gonna be the movie that pushes. This guy is fantastic. It's a very, very, very good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Really? It sounds like it would be the most boring movie ever because that phone was like,
Well, what's
just weird.
cool about
It's a
it
weird phone.
is there's a YouTube channel I watch called Company Man where
Yeah,
they go.
I know the channel.
It's a great channel where they like are like, this is the deal with Bed Bath & Beyond. This is why it's going in the shitter, or like
Right.
this is why Chuck E. Cheese is successful. And like
Is that the channel where the guy never breathes? He just keeps
maybe
talking.
maybe yeah. I mean,
Oh,
you never
fuck
see the
that.
guy.
I know the channel. Like he just keeps talking. He edits out all the times that he pauses, and it's just a continuous stream of talking. And it's like you start to go insane. It's
I love the guy channel, but the whole movie's about BlackBerry and the history of BlackBerry.
Yeah.
And right after it was over, I was like, Company Man definitely did a BlackBerry episode. So I pulled it up and I watched it, and it's pretty dead on. But what's very interesting about BlackBerry is that it went from being like, it was a tiny company to being the biggest phone in the world.
Yep.
For like 2 years.
Right.
And then immediately the iPhone comes out and it's just, they're done.
Right.
Like they went from nothing to nothing.
Yeah, man.
And
crazy.
It's a really interesting story, and about, I mean, I don't know. Very good movie.
I live that because like I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 33, and it was a BlackBerry. And the only reason I got it was so that this girl could call my phone instead of my parents' phone because I was living with them at the time. And I used it for like 2 years. It took shitty pictures, of which I still have all of them, and then it disappeared. And that was it. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I watched anything really. It's been a weird week. But I did watch Leprechaun.
Yeah, let's do Leprechaun, man.
And so 1993, I did some research, man. Check this out, right? So everybody's always talking about like the highest grossing like the actors with the highest grossing box office, right? And it's always for the longest time it was Harrison Ford until Samuel L. Jackson got into the Star Wars and Marvel universe. Sure. And so now it's Samuel Jackson. The top three are Samuel Jackson. He's at like 5.5 billion. Number two is
these are movies he's in, right? Not like franchises.
So the number comes from movies that he was in that they were in. Didn't necessarily star in. So it was just that they were.
No,
in.
Yeah,
okay?
That's how I would. Yeah.
So it's Samuel Jackson number one, 5.5 billion. Robert Downey Jr. number two. Right next to him, 5.3 billion. And then Scarlett Johansson, 5.2 or whatever. They're all like right there. And it's all because of the Marvel movies. Sam Jackson has Star Wars as well. But so it was the top 100, and the list is very interesting. So out of curiosity, I went through, and all I did was add up the movies Warwick Davis was in the Star Wars and Harry Potter franchises. Just those two. He played 15 characters in Star Wars. He played since Return of the Jedi. He's played 15 characters in Return of the Jedi, the two Ewok movies. He played Wicket 4 times. He was in Phantom Menace. He was in Rogue One, Solo. Force Awakens. So he's been in there playing aliens and all kinds of shit, droids.
Sure.
Harry Potter, he played 4 characters in, I'm pretty sure, every movie. And yeah, in every movie he was in.
I know he play. I've never seen Harry Potter, but I know he plays like the, I don't know, the accountants or something.
He plays it like a banker. He plays a teacher. He plays just a regular like goblin or something like that. 4 characters. So I added up just those 2 franchises. That doesn't include like Willow.
Is he in all the Harry Potters?
Yeah, that doesn't include Willow, Labyrinth, Narnia, The Chronicles of Narnia, all these other movies that he's in. And I also included the Leprechaun franchise, which is minimal. His total just on those handful of movies is $13.5 billion, almost 3 times what Samuel Jackson is. And he's not on the list anywhere because he's not this dashing leading man or hot chick or whatever. That's a criminal. That's a crime. It's a federal crime. Should be. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, but
what?
well, okay. The argument could be made that he
was never in a leading role in any of those movies. But
well, not only is he not in a leading role, he's in 90% of those he's in a mask.
True, but that doesn't matter. I mean,
sure,
but
I mean, there's something to that where it's
yeah,
like,
no,
does
absolutely,
that count?
I get it. And a lot of times he's like, you don't even realize you're looking at him a lot of times. But the point is that a lot of the movies that they listed for all these actors, Sam Jackson, whoever, they're just in it. Like Sam, if you remember when Sam Jackson is Nick Fury, he's got minimal screen time.
Yeah.
Like he's only got like, I think maybe Winter Soldier, he's like up there.
He's got quite a bit in there, but like, yeah, I know what you mean. Iron Man 1, he's in 5 minutes. You know? Yeah.
So, and then you've got these movies like, when he's playing Wicket, he's in there a lot, and he was the star of 2 of those movies. But yeah, it was just crazy. $13.5 billion.
Yeah, but the movies where he played Wicket weren't theatrical.
I didn't include the those were made for TV movies. I didn't include them. They didn't make that much money anyway. Just really, he should be in the conversation. I know you're not gonna put him in the top 50 or whatever, but he should be in there. That he's, I hope someday he gets like an Academy Award for like,
gets recognized.
This guy outmovied everyone in history.
I mean, he's the shit. Did you watch Life's Too Short?
Hell yes.
I love that they even made that.
Yeah. I mean, Ricky Gervais is genius, but all the Leprechaun movies, the last one, that he was in was Leprechaun in the Hood 2. And that was a video release. But all the other 5 movies they all had like a budget of like $1 million, and they all made like exponential. They made money. Like they were all money makers.
Especially Leprechaun in the Hood 1 made a ton of money.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the first one made $8 million off of a $1 million budget. That's a massive success.
Yeah.
So I thought, I don't know. The guy is awesome. He's hilarious. I hope that I hope he gets his due someday. But Leprechaun, the first movie, I would say that this is like a pretty classic horror movie. It's weird. This is the first time I've sat and watched the whole thing through in years.
Yeah, me too. I used to rent it quite a bit.
Jennifer Aniston's first movie.
Yeah, nose job, by the way. Did you notice that?
Is it really? I mean, but it's not like significant like it is in Friends where it's like jacked up and like she gets a nose job.
No, I mean, like she got a nose job after this movie, and like it's if you look at her in this and her in Friends, it's like
interesting,
very clear that
I still feel like she looked like her, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't look bad. She does have a regular person nose though.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big like awful nose. It's just a regular person.
Right.
I thought she was pretty good.
She's not bad.
You know what? You know what's cool
for her
about
first
her
movie.
is that like she was able to walk the line of like she's like a dickhead in the beginning. Like she, you know what I mean? Like
Totally.
she's like, I want to stay in a hotel. This town sucks, but like,
Watercress salad. Where's my watercress salad?
yeah, but she's still like pretty charismatic and
Yeah.
still like you don't hate her.
This
You know what I mean?
the director Mark Jones, who whatever, I guess he fought pretty hard to get her in it. I don't know where he
Yeah, I read that
saw
too.
her. Um, the rest of the cast is just kind of like whatever, except for Mark Holton, Pee Wee's nemesis in the first
Yeah,
Pee-wee. So
yeah.
that dude, man, I could never have named him before this, Mark Holton, but that dude was in stuff. He did Pee Wee's Big Adventure. He did both the Teen Wolf movies. He did Leprechaun 1 and 2. He did Major League, Naked Gun, and that's just like his like 80s, early 90s
Who
stuff.
is he in Major League?
I don't know.
He's not on the team.
No, but he was in, wasn't he a patsy of or had something to do with the lady who owned it?
Yeah, because I think yeah, you know what? I kind of remember that.
Something like that. I don't know.
Wait, is he? I might be getting confused with somebody else. No. I was thinking he might be like, yeah, the patsy of like the woman that's trying to buy the team.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
He's in there.
yeah, he's in there. He's not in the league of their own, is he?
No, just
Okay.
Major League.
It's another fat guy.
Yeah. Also, the music for this movie is Kevin Kiner, who is a big did all the music for Clone Wars cartoon, Star Wars, Rebels. He's a big time now. Back then, this was really early in his career. But after I read that before I watched the movie, and you could totally hear it. You can hear his like Clone Wars era like influence in this movie. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, this movie is it's interesting. Like it doesn't really have
It's
it doesn't really have a ton of horror in it. It's more of like I was trying to like categorize it. I mean, it's a horror movie, but
it's not as good as I remember. I'll tell you that.
no, it's not.
But I think I mixed this and two. I remembered a lot of two, and it's so a lot of that was like, but yeah,
It's more of like
so
this weird like fantasy movie. I mean, he kills people and he's like a little gremlin guy, but like he breaks one guy's neck and he chews on people's legs.
yeah, I was gonna say
The pogo stick kill was probably the best.
that was so stupid. But just okay. Besides the makeup and like Warwick Davis's performance, like there's nothing that really separates this from like a Jack Frost or a wow. What was the last one? Uncle Sam. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, it would step. It is. I think it's a step above because of Warwick Davis.
Well, the makeup they went. The makeup's awesome and his
Yeah.
performance is awesome.
Yeah, he's charismatic as hell, and you can tell that he joked it up, but they also I think they increased the horror element, the blood of it, just to kind of like actually push it into horror. But it's just like they don't go all in, and there's a lot that they could have done. I think
they go a lot more hardcore as the series goes.
Do they? Okay, I need to watch a couple more of them.
Yeah, I mean, and I could be wrong, but doesn't he? I remember, doesn't he talk in rhyme in the other ones? Like I thought he did in this one, but he doesn't.
Maybe I don't know. I honestly, there's another one of these that I've seen. All I remember from it is he has like a lightsaber, but it's green. I don't know if it's in some scene. I don't know. It's weird.
Is that in 3 or that? No, that's probably in 4.
I don't know.
I've seen them all, but it's not in a really really long time.
I think I would imagine they're all worth watching just for him. I mean,
4 has my favorite. 4's the best when they kill him at the end of 4. Like they blow him up, like they shoot him out of an airlock and blow him up.
Oh, it's in space.
Yeah,
okay.
4's in space.
All right,
but then like his his like parts are like flying around,
right?
And like I think 4 might even been in 3D. I could be wrong, but his hand it comes floating like across the screen, and then it just gives you the finger. It's the best. It's the funniest thing ever.
That's awesome. They do that in this. They don't do that, but he loses his hand. I wonder if that's just a thing. I love. It's weird to like see like Warwick Davis after like living with him in all these movies that we grew up with. in a movie like this and that he did 6 of them, and that he's like running around killing people, yelling things like, where's me pot of gold and all this stuff. It's such a bizarre, like surreal experience to watch one of these if you've been following his career as long as we have.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. To me, it was like, hey, we need a leprechaun. like let's cast the best little person actor that there is, like the most well-known.
Totally. I'm surprised there hasn't been like, I mean, I know there are Peter Dinklage and stuff like that, but I'm surprised there aren't more prominent little people actors.
Well, you know what's really funny? Did you hear about the controversy this year? This was really funny.
Of what?
So they were they're doing all these Disney remakes. They were doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, and Peter Dinklage was like, he went on Marin, and Marin was like, so like you would never play. He's like, I noticed you don't. Like you would never play a leprechaun. He's like, no, I would never do that. Basically, like that's beneath me. Like I want to play regular.
I can hear Marin asking that. That's hilarious.
Like basically, is like yeah, and like and like and listen, man, I love Tyrion, I love all that stuff, but I'm also like it's a little distracting when like there's a movie called I Care a Lot that he did last year where he plays a mobster,
right?
And nobody brings it up. Like
right.
There's scenes where like people wake up like tied up. And he's like torturing them, and they don't like even like blink an eye. Like, and it's like, okay, sure, maybe that wouldn't be, you wouldn't do a double take,
right?
If that had, but whatever. Anyway, but anyway, the the interview is great because he's like, it basically got the movie shut down, like because they were still in like super pre-production
for Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah. Okay. And they were like, he's like, so, you're not going to, like, what's the story with whatever? I figured he asked. He's like, I don't know, man. He's like, they want to be, I applaud them. They think they're being real progressive because they're going to have like a black Snow White and, but you're still going to have this story about like these mythical creatures who actually like dwarves exist, like we're real people. And you're going to have this like, where we live in a, I don't know. It just seems a little weird. And Marin's like, yeah, it's a good point. And like the next day it came out, Disney's like pausing production. Is it like, what are they going to do? They're like, okay, do we do CGI dwarves? No, that's the wrong move.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of like dwarf actors got pissed at Peter Dinklage because they were like, hey man, that's a job. I'll take that job.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Like, just because you don't want to play one of the Seven Dwarves, like I'll do it. I have no problem doing, like. Dude, so
that's hilarious.
But it's a minefield that like Disney's like, fuck that, we're just not doing it now.
Yeah. Do you think then that with that said, that if they were to make, well, they are making Lord of the Rings, they're doing the TV show and all that, but like if they like the dwarfs in Lord of the Rings are regular sized humans. Yeah. So do you think that is something that's going to go away? That
I don't think so, because
is that the wrong move? Having regular sized people cast in Lord of the Rings as dwarves?
I don't know, because it's a weird thing, because like, okay, dwarves are one thing.
Yeah.
But hobbits aren't real. So okay, like,
good point. All right.
You could cast as somebody and just whatever, but like a dwarf is the clinical term, like it's a real term. So it's like, but dwarves are bigger. That's a whole thing, man.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I understand it too. Like when it comes down to it, you need someone who can like, and it's a weird conversation, but you need someone who can maneuver on screen in an action setting. I don't think it would work maybe logistically. I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with cast. Like, what's the problem with casting? Like,
but Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is different. That would work. Cast. Yeah, all day long.
We need an actor that's 3 feet tall.
Right.
There are actors that are 3 feet tall.
Right.
Like, where's the issue here?
Yeah, they're not action stars, and in the Seven Dwarfs, like it shouldn't be an action movie. So I think that would work.
Only knows what they would do.
Oh, that's so weird. That's so weird.
We have an action hands. Remember that Remember the like 3-year period where we were getting like action versions of like Hansel and Gretel and Jack and
Yeah.
the Beanstalk
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what was that? What
I don't know.
what the hell was that?
I
I
don't
remember
know.
being like, why is there an R-rated Hansel and Gretel movie where they're assassins? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Um, so I only had like two kills that really registered to me because the first one was the old guy who at the beginning he had a stroke. He didn't really
Yeah.
die. So
But
there's the poke.
he survived, right?
He survives at the end, but which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, his death was probably the best because he just falls out of the later
Falls
on,
out the
10 years
yeah.
later, he just falls out of the roof of the elevator like random. I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
we're gonna have to come back to that elevator because like
she's there to find him, but he's
yeah,
like
the
randomly in the
logistics
roof,
don't make any sense. Like
he just falls out.
that
He's like,
seems insane.
it's almost like you were looking for me. Here I am. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Are you kidding me?
Did he drop from like he just falls out of the ceiling
Yeah,
of the elevator?
Of the elevator. The guy she's looking for, who was not in his room. Yeah.
Well, because yeah,
It's ridiculous.
did Leprechaun put him up there? And if he did, like, how
Magic.
did he fall?
I mean, you could do magic, definitely, but how did he know that she was going to be in the elevator? It's weird. I don't know.
It
the
is like oh, you're looking for me.
Yeah, totally. And he's hanging upside down. It's hilarious. Like,
And
it's
she's like, we
hilarious.
got to get you to like a time.
Yeah. And he's
"No."
like, this is how you kill him. And what? Like,
it was
insane.
It's a little nuts.
That one.
Are there any like interviews with Jennifer Aniston, like not during the presser of this, but like we're in like whatever 1997 or 1998, where people are like, "Hey man, what's up with Leprechaun?" Like, you know, like you remember you did that movie, or is it like a
Dude,
like
if I got the chance to interview her, that's the first thing I would bring up. It's her first movie. You got to talk about it.
I mean, like, you know, like Elizabeth Shannon, or not Elizabeth, Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah.
She had like her agents went like scorched earth with Jack Frost. Like it was like
I could see
you are not allowed to like any press she did. It was like you are not allowed to bring this up. They tried to get her taken off the credits and all that.
That's dumb, but also she has no career anymore anyway. So,
but I mean, when she was blowing up,
yeah,
you know, I don't know about, you know,
that one aside from the elevator, the pogo stick, and then there's the dumbass cop who just like I'm like, he's running away from, I almost said the gremlin. He's such a gremlin in this, but he's running away from Leprechaun like for like a solid 5 minutes through the woods. And he's a grown ass cop with a gun and a billy club. And he's like, it's like, man, just kick the guy or like, what? And then he sits down to rest by a tree, you know, and he falls out of the tree and breaks his neck, that's the kind of thing that this movie I think suffers from the most, is that the kills are like regular sized human fighting kills rather than,
well, also he bites people. Like,
he bites the hell out of
like what is going on with that? Like, it's almost like they don't know, like they don't want to give him a knife.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They don't want to give him, like, they want him to be threatening, but they won't want, like, he can't be stabbing people. He can't be. So
how is he getting close enough to you to bite you? That's my question.
He bites everybody.
Yeah.
Like the one guy gets his leg caught in a bear trap, and then he runs up and he
starts biting. Gnawing on his leg.
Like there's a bunch of stuff.
That's the scene where it actually unfolds the way it would in reality, where he just starts batting him around with the flashlight. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
There's a bunch of stuff that I'm really curious. I want to watch Leprechaun 2.
Yeah, I do too.
If they continued with it, which is like, 1, the biting, 2, like the shoe shining.
Dude, that's my favorite scene. That is my favorite scene. But do you remember?
Nuts.
Do you remember?
Is nuts.
I remember they said that somebody says like, I guess it's the Pee Wee guy.
Yeah.
When he finds him and he breaks out of the crate in the basement and he runs up and starts shining his shoes, he says something like he used to be a shoemaker.
Yeah.
But is there something said where he's obligated to shine shoes if you throw them at him?
No, they don't say that.
Because
And
that
like
scene is amazing.
when they just start, by the way, they just have a shitload of shoes in their car. There's
Well,
no
no, it's the box of shoes that he made because he felt obligated to make them while he was waiting for them to come back into the house. So he makes all these shoes, and then I don't know what, I don't know how they knew, but they put them all in a box and they walk out of the house because there's that scene where Jennifer Aniston is holding the shotgun and the guy, Julian, is holding the box of shoes. And I'm like, what's happening here? And then they see him and they start throwing shoes at him and he just starts shining them.
he's like, yeah, he has to shine all the shoes.
Ah,
It's so
it's
stupid.
amazing. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. But I had the thought at that moment where it was like, all right, you can't kill this guy really. Like he's like, you shoot him with a shotgun, he comes back, you melt him, he comes back for 6 movies. So the way that you get this guy is you put him in like a room and just keep dumping shoes into the room. And
Well, yeah.
and for like eternity, he has to just continuously shine them, I guess.
I mean, I thought the same thing where it's like, okay, well, you have this now. Like you can, if you throw a shoe at him, like you could, I mean, do they? I don't even know if that's like, and the 4-leaf clover thing, everything just felt really like, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the pogo stick, even like the way the deaths went, man. Like that's what's wild is like the makeup is so good, but like the effects on like the deaths and like everything else besides his makeup looks like shit.
Right.
Like there's a lot of like ADR. That
Yeah.
cop, they replace his whole voice.
Yeah.
When he's wheeling around the wheelchair,
Yeah.
that's nuts.
And yeah, it is nuts. And I read about that scene. Jennifer Aniston had to like intentionally run in slow motion so that they could put him in fast motion because he was having trouble like doing the wheelchair. And
Yeah,
he did all his own stunts in this movie, which is awesome.
I was thinking about that. I was actually thought I was like, I want like, do you get a little person stuntman?
No, he did them all.
Or is it like, yeah, I mean, they probably double as a stuntman. It's like,
pretty awesome.
It's like in John Wick, where it's like they just hire they just hire stuntmen to be actors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it works. Also, did you notice how many times, I don't know how many times it is, but he's continuously like just building go-karts and like they come out of nowhere. Like he's got the
well,
one
he does
cop
find the
over.
one. Yeah, he finds the one.
That one he finds the El
He
Camino?
like no, he goes in like the barn and like like they have a
Well, that one's the go-kart that like he just makes it real fast. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But the other one that the cop pulls him over in, where did he get that? I forget where he got that. I don't know. It's hilarious though, because it's like the one where he builds it. I mean, he's in there for seconds and then he comes charging out with this go-kart. And I was like, did you do go-karts when you were a kid?
I mean, when I went to Wisconsin Dells and stuff, but like, not really.
Spending as much time as I did as a kid in the South, man, those rednecks, they love some go-karts, man. There's like go-kart places like every like 6 blocks. It's insane. But yeah, that was bananas.
What is the kid from in this movie? Like what he in, like 3 Ninjas or something?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't. He's got to be in something because he's like
one of those kids.
But he was a decent. It wasn't like the kid in is it Near Dark, the one that I hated so much.
Yeah,
his face is. I just hate his face, but he wasn't like that. Like this kid was like decent as far as like holding his own weight in this movie and stuff like that. But
I remember when I was a kid, that like final line he has, the "fuck you, Lucky Charms." There's a kid at my lunch table that thought that was just the coolest shit he had ever heard in his life.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've heard people say that before, and I'm like, okay, what is that? And I didn't realize it was from this.
It just, I mean, it felt like okay, sure.
Fuck
like,
you, Lucky Charms.
Just like it just seems so like bait. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. There's that he eats Lucky Charms in the movie, but the box says Lucky Clovers, but it like you can see it's falling out of his mouth. It's literally Lucky Charms. It's awesome. The other thing was I thought it was that I really liked. There were a couple scenes where they did some really good rotoscoping.
Okay.
Like there's the one scene where he appears in front of Jennifer Aniston and he kind of like materializes and he's like a skeleton.
He does it a bunch. He does it when
Yeah.
he's running.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the rose scoping was cool.
And then also at the end, his death scene was pretty dope, but it was straight up
It's Gremlins.
It was Gremlins.
Yeah,
Straight up.
I wonder if it was the same makeup guy.
I don't know.
That kid, by the way, was in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. That's what it was.
Is that
have you never seen that movie?
Is that oh man, what's the name of that? Applegate? Christina Applegate?
Christina Applegate, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's been, if I saw it, it's been since it came out.
Yeah.
Because Adventures in Babysitting is the far superior babysitting movie.
I could see an argument for Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Really?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Shue in Chicago.
I love Elizabeth Shue. Don't get me wrong. And I like
80s.
Adventures in Babysitting, but I think an argument could be made.
I'll have to watch it again. I don't know. Wasn't that, if it was late 80s, it was like 89, that movie, or it was early 90s? I can't remember.
If I had to guess right now, I would say 80. I would say 89, maybe.
But Adventures of Babysitting,
91. It's 91.
That's why it's a little subpar. I think Adventures of Babysitting is 87, I believe. It's a good, I would put this movie on in the background any day of the week.
He's not to go on another detour. He's also in Rookie of the Year and Mr. Nanny.
Who, that kid?
Yeah.
No one cares.
He's also in an episode Quantum Leap.
That's what we need to do for BoobTube TV is some
I'll watch some Quantum Leap.
Yeah, we'll do some Quantum Leap at some point. What else, man? What else you got on this?
Not much, man. I mean, I was a little disappointed with it. I mean, I liked it, but it was not as good as I expected it to be.
Yeah. It's not bad. It is what it is. I honestly didn't expect much. There's a lot of dead air in it, which is weird. Like where it's just like, all right, who's editing this movie?
Yeah. I'm really, I'll bet Leprechaun 2 is. I bet it's better.
I'm gonna watch it this week. Leprechaun 2.
Me too.
Check it out. One thing that was kind of weird is like, at the beginning with the old man who has the stroke, who falls out of the elevator 10 years later, the way that you get the leprechaun's gold is by catching him. He says this. He says, or somebody says this, like, you catch him and then he has to give you his gold, and that's fair and square, which is what the guy was saying. How did this old guy manage to catch this leprechaun, do you think? We don't see it. They don't show it.
No, they don't. In the very beginning, he's like, he's telling his wife, like, I caught this leprechaun and he had to give me his gold. And then it turns out this leprechaun like snuck his way back into the States, like in his suitcase.
Right.
And like killed his wife immediately and was like, give me my goods.
That was actually the most horror movie scene, is when he's the dead wife and he's like moving her jaw to talk.
Yeah.
Like that was probably the most gory, whatever. I don't know. It's, it's a fun movie. Put it on the background. I'd watch it again, whatever.
Yeah, I would.
But I'm curious to see how 2 goes. And then
I know I've seen 3.
I'm
pretty sure I've seen 2 too. I just got like, it's one of those ones where I think it just kind of, there was stuff that I was waiting for that didn't happen, that I was kind of, I'm like, it must have been in 2.
I was expecting more horror, but
yeah, me too. I think they had a tone problem. They
1, 2, 3, and then 4 is the hood. 4 and 5.
No, 4 is space.
4 is space. 5 and 6.
5 and 6 are in the hood.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get there. I wouldn't mind. Every time they go to space, it gets weird. But one thing, I don't know what jogged it loose, but one thing I did watch for What'd You Watch, I forgot to mention. I watched Roadhouse last night. Man.
We can do an episode on Roadhouse.
Flawless movie.
Awesome movie. Awesome.
So good. So good.
That remake's coming out real soon.
Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah. And you know what?
I'll watch that.
I'm not, from what I've seen, because they shot it at a UFC. They shot footage for it at a UFC event.
Okay.
Because I guess he's like a ex-UFC fighter. So there's footage of him. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him like being kicked out of the UFC and now he's a bouncer.
Yeah. What's I love him so much, but I love Sway's dog. He's awesome, but rest in peace. What's Sam? It's not Sam Shepard.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. I always forget Elliott. I always confuse the two. So who's playing the Sam Elliott character?
I don't know.
You got to have that, and you got to have him a grizzled older guy like that. He's so perfect in
He's
that
so
movie.
perfect. Everybody's so perfect in that
Man.
movie. It works so well, man.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway, Leprechaun, solid, whatever. Warwick Davis is awesome. Jennifer Aniston, she's hot, but
she's good.
she's also kind of an idiot. But Julian, I like the Julian in it. He was
the guy.
He was like extremely chauvinistic, but in the most charming ways. And like it just worked. They had a good chemistry. I think it worked.
They did. I remember being taken aback a little bit by like this whole movie takes place in like 24 hours. Like she meets these guys and then she's immediately like bossing them around and being like, why do you always have to do like she's acting like she's known all of them for years.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
And you know the scene where Leprechaun's under the car, like caressing her leg, and she's like you just said, she's only known this guy for however long, and she's like, Julian, how did she think Julian, and why did she think Julian crawled under the car to
crazy.
touch her leg?
It's like 17.
That was insane. Get out. Julian, are you under the car touching my leg? What? No, man, that's a creature. Like my first thought is not if I recently met like this hot chick and we're painting a house, and then I go, I'm gonna get some more paint out of the truck, and then something's touching my leg. I'm not gonna think that like she ran around the house. she ran around the house, dove under the truck, and then is crawling through the dirt to rub my leg. That's not what I'm thinking. I'm gonna be like, what is that?
Well, I don't know.
Anyway, all right, man. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Satisfied? All right.
Yeah.
It was a solid pick. So you got it next week. You got what? M?
Yeah. I got a few picks. One
right.
one I really want to do is another one where it's not really a horror movie, but I think it works, and I think okay, so the movies that are up for it are Maniac.
Oh, Maniac, like
just flat Maniac.
Maniac. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little heavy, but and there's Maniac Cop 2.
Okay.
Because I love Maniac Cop 1 and 2.
Did we do a Maniac Cop?
No. And you didn't like Maniac Cop 1 from what I remember, and I don't think you've seen Maniac Cop 2.
Okay.
2 if you ask me, is better than 1. I've never seen 3, but I hear 3 isn't up to par.
All right.
But my one I would really like to do, but it's not a horror, but it is in it's in the 80s. It takes place, it's I would like to do Masters of the Universe.
Oh man.
Because hear me out, because I think it would be interesting, because you're a big He-Man guy. You collect the toys, you're very familiar with the show, but the movie you've only seen it.
No, I watched the movie.
Yeah.
I recently started watching the movie regularly because I got this new appreciation for it.
Okay, but for years you were like not.
Yeah, it's because it's not really.
He-Man. See, whereas I was the opposite. I mean, I watched He-Man when I was a kid, but was not that into it. I mean, I was into it when I was a kid. I was obsessed with it when I was a kid, but I didn't keep up with it. But do like the movie quite a bit. Like I haven't seen it, and I used to watch the movie obsessively as a kid.
Yeah.
But I understand it doesn't meet the criteria.
It's not so much that it's just one of those movies where it fits. It would fit. We can make it fit. It fits as much as Crawl does, but which is nothing against Crawl at all. It's just that we both have seen it so much and we both like it. That's the only reason I'm leaning away from it.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't. Have you seen Maniac? The just Maniac?
Yeah,
I haven't. Shame on me, because that's like a classic. I know
it is, and it is. It's not. It didn't do it for me as much as I thought it would.
Okay. When did you see it?
5-6 years ago, like right when I got got into horror.
Right.
Maniac Cop 2 is very good. 2. Yeah, Maniac Cop 1 is good, and I would do Maniac Cop if you want to do that.
Have you seen Maniac Cop 3?
No, but I've heard it takes a dive.
See, that's because I did watch Maniac Cop 2, after we
Oh,
talked about.
I didn't know you've seen it.
Yeah. So I'm like going to throw you for a loop, and I'm going to suggest Maniac Cop 3.
But
Because we both haven't seen it, because it's got a bad reputation.
and I haven't seen Maniac Cop 2 in a while, like probably in a year.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna probably want to.
You could still rewatch Maniac Cop 1 and 2.
I have a feeling I'll be fine. Like, oh yeah, what happened? Oh yeah. Doesn't Maniac Cop 2 end on like a cliffhanger?
Maybe. Which one has Tom Atkins?
One.
And Bruce Campbell. And then Bruce Campbell in number 2.
Bruce Campbell's in 1 and 2.
He dies in number 2.
He dies in 2.
Yeah, I've seen both of those. All right, man. Well, ultimately it's your pick, and all of those movies I would say qualify. I'm gonna though suggest Maniac Cop 3 because we haven't seen it, and because it's probably garbage. And I think that we would have more. I just, me, and I don't like to sit here and go, oh, I like that, I like that, I like that with these movies that we love.
But that's why that's kind of why I like it. Kind of why I want to do Masters of the Universe, only because like as much as I like that movie. There's a lot to be like, what the fuck with that?
Oh, totally.
There's
totally.
a lot of.
I understand that.
And the star of the movie,
no.
Oh my god, how am I drawing a blank on his fucking?
Which one? On Maniac Cop?
No, on Masters of the Universe.
Dolph Lundgren.
No, not He-Man. The guy that plays Kevin, the boyfriend.
Oh, Julian.
Anyway, he plays he's Lieutenant Tom Paris on Star Trek Voyager.
Jesus Christ.
But
it's your pick, man.
If it's my pick, and you're cool with that, I would want to do Masters of the Universe.
Right.
I haven't seen it in a while. I love that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. I would like to hear your thoughts on it, really. Like that, right. I would like to hear what your ins, your outs, like how it holds up to, because as a kid I remember watching it being like, where the fuck is Orko?
Yeah.
Like who is this? Who is that? Why is this not in it? Like, but you were old enough to watch it, and I don't know. I was young enough that it was like, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
Whereas you were probably old enough to be like, what is this shit?
No, I won't talk about it. If that's your pick, I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
Are you sure? Like I don't have to, but I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fine.
And it's got one of the aspects of the ending is one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, you in? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Totally.
Okay, cool.
All right, next week for letter M, Masters of the Universe. Because I already have my end picked out, and it's a good one too. So whatever. All right, next week for letter M, Masters of the Universe. It definitely has like some horror elements to it, and
yeah, I mean the bad guy's a
skeleton, so
yeah,
that works. But Leprechaun this week in the books, it's good stuff. I'm gonna watch Leprechaun 2 this week, just to and we'll give you a follow.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it too.
Yeah, we'll give you a follow.
I tried to watch Mannequin 2 this week, and it is hard to find.
Oh, really? If you, I didn't even look, but I do want to watch that. If you do find it, let me know. Put it in, do a thing. But all right, folks, if you want to find us on social media, Instagram. I just refined everything. I'm in the middle of like refining all our presence on the internet. So Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all at Death by Podcast. I created some new Twitter art with my what's it called? With my design skills, whatever. For Twitter. Hope I'll be hanging out there a little bit more. If you want to support the show directly, first of all, spread the word, tell people you listen to it. And patreon.com/deathbypodcast is where you'll find our other bonus mini podcast, BoobTube TV. This week we did an episode of Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. What was it? Season 19, episode 18. Next week we're going to do, what are we doing next week? Friday the 13th series?
Yeah, Friday the 13th series. Whatever episode we'll
do an episode
now. Yeah,
right. We did a couple of them like last season or the season before.
Actually, I think I don't know if it's next week or this week. Black Mirror starting up. So
we'll
maybe we
definitely
should-
fit that in too. Yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
that for BoobTube at some point. So yeah, that's patreon.com/deathbypodcast. I got new stickers on the way that we're gonna be handing out, or that we did hand out by the time you listen to this, at the Killer Clowns showing at the Music Box. Hopefully that was a blast and not a disaster. And I think that's it. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Adam. That's your other host,
Kevin.
Gavin. It's Miller time. Kevin?
Shut the fuck up.
Whew, that was a good one. James, thank you. Thank you. I want to see if we can find another James Woods movie that qualifies as horror that we can put in hopefully this season. I've been in a James Woods mood
Me
recently,
too.
but I don't know if there's one for a letter or maybe a what you watch. If there's a letter coming up, let me know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I
We'll do
wouldn't
that.
mind some James Woods.
Yeah, awesome. All right, man. Folks,
Videodrome.
Videodrome. I haven't seen that. Let's plan for that for V.
Okay.
Awesome. I haven't seen it. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. Be safe. Don't get pogo stick to death. That's painful. That looks painful. It sucks.
It doesn't look painful. That scene. That was awful. That scene. That was a big stretch. I was like, fuck this. That was Jack Frost shit. That's what that was.
That was definitely Jack Frost. Fuck Jack Frost. See you guys.